According to the Auditor General's report of 2019-2020 financial year, government realized a resource envelope of 4.3 trillion shillings for fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Of this money, 4.2 trillion was loans, 17.9 billion grants, 11.6 billion in local cash donations, and 34 billion for in-kind donations. Surprisingly, only 311 billion had been spent out of this money at the time the audit was carried out. 284 billion was supplementary budget, while 27 billion was released from the contingency fund.
Most of the money is actually going to be spent this year and next year. And I think because even us ourselves were a bit scared. We were like, this audit is going to be so huge in terms of COVID. But we found that government did give out proper guidelines from the beginning.
While presenting this report, the Auditor General John Muwanga highlighted a number of flaws in how 134 districts and 11 MDAs spent the money. For example, 25 entities undertook procurement worth 143 billion shillings without fully adhering to the procurement rules, including procurements without contracts, while 10.5 billion was diverted and spent by 5 entities on items other than those for which the funds were disbursed. The Auditor General notes that items valued at 55.8 billion shillings were distributed under the Office of the Prime Minister without evidence of acknowledgement from the receiving entities. The Office of the Prime Minister has further been implicated for procuring maize and beans that did not meet the required standards set by UNBS. For example, out of the 14,069 metric tons of maize flour, 2,615 did not meet the standards, while out of the 8,549 metric tons of dry beans, 2,017 were below standard.
Then on the issue of the COVID, I think we did what we could to support the government in the circumstances. In some instances, we were not very satisfied with the requests, but it was a difficult period. It was an emergency period.
This report will further be processed by the Parliament's Public Accounts Committee (PAC) before committee recommendations and those of the whole House are sent to government for action. Habad Ziwa, NTV at Parliament.